You close your laptop at 6 p.m., work is officially over, but while you're making dinner, you're thinking about that mail, and on the sofa, you're mentally solving tomorrow's problems. And when you finally get to bed, your brain decides now is just the best moment to think about everything that is still open, the tasks that you couldn't solve, the conversations that kind of are still looping in your head, and the rumination starts, which is strange because you're not working anymore. So why does your brain keep holding on to those thoughts? And some of you might think that it makes perfect sense. You work where you eat, you answer emails where you relax, and your commute is just 10 steps from your desk to your sofa. So you'd think the solution is simple. I just need stronger boundaries. Close the laptop, leave the office, which is your room, turn off notifications. But there is a problem with that explanation. You can shut down every single device in your house and still spend the next 3 hours ruminating. And when you want to go to bed, still those thoughts are popping up in your head. So there must be another explanation for this. And it is because I noticed something very strange. You might think that the people who most struggle with this are people who don't worry too much about their job. And I noticed something interesting about the people who struggle most with this. So they're often not the people who don't care enough about the work. It's almost the opposite. So they're the person who remembers every single deadline, the person thinking about what could break next, the person worrying about the client before even the client starts worrying, the person carrying the unfinished problem home. And why do I know all this? Because I work with exactly those people. It's typically founders, solopreneurs, CEOs, senior leaders, people in high demanding roles. In fact, I've been working with more than 1,600 people over the last 10 years. But if better boundaries were the problem, why are you still thinking about work 3 hours later and right before sleep? There is an easy explanation, because right before sleep, it's for most of you the first time during the day that your brain has actually the open space that it needs to digest all the open loops. Because as long as you keep those loops open, your brain will continue spinning, and it will continue doing so even after you fell asleep. In fact, sometimes people even do fall asleep after hours sometimes of ruminating, but then still the sleep quality isn't very restorative, and you will wake up and feel like you're actually waking up exhausted. And the reason is because normally during sleep there is a different brainwave activity. So the deep sleep restorative brainwave activity is normally delta brain waves. But when you don't close the loops, then your brain keeps in beta wave activity, which is a more lighter sleep, and it's a higher arousal during your sleep. So how can you close those loops? There are actually two ways to do it. So either you find yourself in bed in thinking loops. So as soon as you spot that moment, you can just take a journal or take your phone even and jot down anything that is looping in your head. Could be an open task, so jot it down. What's the task? You can even schedule the task for the next day for your phone to remind you about it. If there is a thought that keeps looping in your head, write that thought down. So as soon as this thought is on paper, your brain realizes that it doesn't need to worry about it anymore because it's there. You can revisit it anytime in your journal. Or you're revisiting conversations. Same thing. Just jot down this conversation and what is bugging you about it. Can be short, can be 3 words, just something that really reminds you about it so you can revisit it. So the simple solution is journaling anything down that is keep looping in your head. That closes the loop. And you'll see as soon as you've written down all those thoughts, you'll fall asleep almost instantly. By the way, all of what I'm teaching here on YouTube, all the perspectives, all the mentoring, all the tools, all the frameworks, you'll find also in my Mental Mastery Academy. The link is down in the description. It's my community and peer group of founders, solopreneurs, CXOs, and high performers who want to maintain peak performance but be present at the same time. And if you can't stop thinking about work, not only at nighttime, but also during the day, maybe you're ruminating a lot, revisiting conversations a lot. There are actually 3 different types of thinking about work, and every single type needs a completely different approach. And I'll share those 3 exact approaches with you in the next video. You'll find it down in the left corner. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.